excited about both teams. I think on the women's side, we've got 3 or 4 individuals that really jump out, and to me, one being Danny Coons, who had just a really breakout year last year as a junior, heading into her senior year. Danny's not just a national qualifier. She's not just one of the top, if not the top athlete on our team, but she's just a great leader. She's someone who her team and her team's success are really important to her, and that's been really cool to see that develop over time and see someone come in as a freshman, and by the time they're a junior or senior, how important their team is to them. And another one will be Brooke Frederick, who through 2 years of college, 2 indoor seasons, 2 outdoor seasons, has come up just short of qualifying for the national meet in the pole vault really every season. And she's in a really competitive event in our conference, where even being that person who's on the edge of qualifying for nationals, it's still hard to score a lot of points at the conference meet, but she's done that at times, and we're excited to see how her season goes, along with some of the other women's vaulters. So those are 2 strong areas where with both Danny and Brooke, it's not just how they're doing, but those are good events for us, or we feel like they could be. Morgan Benish is another one that we're really excited about. She's having a good cross-country season so far. Again, she's another one who was within shouting distance of qualifying for nationals last year as a sophomore, really in all 3 seasons, cross-country and indoor and outdoor. So hopefully we'll see some continued improvement from her and leadership. That's an area, the middle distance and distance crew, we definitely lost a lot in terms of graduation, but we're excited about the young group that we have there, so we're looking forward on the women's side, again with the sprinters and jumpers. I think of someone like Julie Burr. We had Emily Everett transfer in the jumps and multis for us. So we'll see where we're at as we get started there. On the men's side, had a lot of graduation in the sprints, a lot of graduation in the jumps, but we had a really good recruiting class there. So on paper, the guys that we had come in that area were better coming in as freshmen than those graduating seniors that we just lost were back when they were freshmen. So that's exciting, but they are freshmen, so we have to be careful about having too high of expectations, or just kind of keeping in mind, and not that we want to set the bar low for them, but understanding that it's a process, understanding that they do have to develop, that just because they have all kinds of physical ability, that it's going to be that every meet we go to this year, it'll be the first time for them going to that meet. And so there's a learning curve with younger guys on that. But I think we have a lot of leadership potential in the throws. We have some leadership potential with the distance crew. So I think those groups, as we come along, can really help our team grow. But we're gonna have to be a team. As always, the MIAA is just super tough. You look at the women's side, and outdoor national meet last year, 3 of the top 5 in the nation coming out of our conference, and that's crazy how good that is. And we had something similar to that back 3 or 4 years ago when we were in the RMAC, where I think it was 3 of the top 6 or 3 of the top 7, something like that, were from that conference. But again, as we always talk about in the MIAA, it's not just how good those top teams are, which they're really good. It's also just the depth that comes after that, and how good the 4th, the 5th, the 6th place teams are. So on the men's side, Pitt State has really established themselves as the team to beat on the men's side. But you got the tradition and quality team in Central Missouri. I think Missouri Southern is that team that's always good, just hasn't yet gotten over the hump to winning a conference title, but that's a very good program. And you could go on and on with how good they are. But we love being in this conference. We love the fact that we have to fight and scratch and claw for every single point that we get. But that's exciting, and it can go good and it can go bad. Last year the wheels kind of fell off of our men's team and we got 7th at the conference meet. But what it really showed us is how much we should appreciate what we had done in the 2 or 3 conference meets leading up to that, getting 2nds and 3rds at the conference meet. You almost start to take that for granted when it happens. Well, it's amazing how fine a line it was, just what little bit of difference there was between what we had done in those meets and what we did last year when we got 7th. But that just is an indication more of how strong the conference actually is. Our indoor schedule is probably similar to what it has been in the past. What we tend to do is have a meet on our schedule every week that is a day trip, a couple hours away, and that's where for our situation and where we're at, we can, within the indoor season between, especially the meets at the University of Nebraska in Lincoln, we get some really good competition there, particularly on the track, but we always have a couple home meets because our field event folks, I think field event athletes in general do well at home meets, not just ours. So we like having a couple of home meets. We'll send our jumpers out to a meet in Golden, Colorado, an old RMAC school, a place where we always competed well when we had conference meets there. And so we have to balance that, finding the competitive opportunities that maybe some of your athletes need in particular events to get maybe qualified for nationals or be seated high in the conference. And it's not, it might be different for a jumper than it is for a distance runner. It might be different for a distance runner than it is for a vaulter or for a thrower. And so we just have to have that team, like I talked about earlier, but at the same time find the right competitive opportunities for folks.